all the rest. Okay, so welcome to the VIP webinar with two amazing people on it today, and obviously a lot of you are just watching it, which is absolutely fabulous as well. So today, there's lots of things I want to talk about. Actually, one specific thing I'm going to talk about is parenting. So a lot of you have got children, and you may get, lots of tips, and these ones are what's come to the forefront recently. So it goes back to a story about teachers and authority and who should we support, and we always believe our children because our children never lie, and we forget that they delete, distort and generalize things as well, and we also forget that everything that happens is an effect of the events that happened prior. So what we remember as a child or as an adult in a meeting may not always be 100% accurate. Also, remember how many bytes per second that we have coming into our brainwave, that to get the information 100% correct every single time, as some of you will know, well, it doesn't happen. And then people say, didn't you hear me? Didn't I say this? How didn't you hear me? And because some people are very, very distracted and have too many, actually have more than the average of bytes per second coming in, and they can't absorb all the information. They're actually on to the next thing before they're present with the first thing. So in saying that, what's recently come up about teachers is a story that my mother told me once. And the story that she said was, just be aware that you may only get one side of the story. Okay, so one side of the story is the fact that in that story, there is a child in a classroom. And I remember her always saying that one of us, I'm one of 7, and one of us came home from school one day, and she got a call from the teacher. And the teacher said, your son has been a real little so-and-so in the classroom. And she was a lovely nun. And she said that, I don't know what you'll ever do with him. He's just trouble and da-da-da-da. He's not going to get anywhere in life or anywhere in school. And he had done this, that, and the other thing. And my brother basically, my mother heard this, didn't tell my brother, and just decided that she would talk to him about how to behave in the classroom and concentrating a bit better and what was going on at school. And he got and heard some little bit other stories that were going on, and gave him tips and tricks of how to work with the stories. Now, there were stories also that he was saying about the teacher. So she knew what the truth was, and also what his story was, and what the teacher's truth was, and what his truth was. And they're both their own truths, right? So she was the one, she just sat in the middle and said she was just going to listen to them both and give advice to them both, saying, I hear what you're saying, and I'll talk to little Johnny. And said to John, I hear what you're saying, I'll talk to the teacher. Lo and behold, she never said anything to either of them. She just heard the stories, and lo and behold, things got better in the classroom, and she never got that conversation again. And he ended up doing very successful in life, not successful in school, very successful in life, and sold a business for $30 million. And so school's not nothing to do with it, but it's about that could have affected him for the rest of his life. And if she hadn't supported the teacher would have said to the mother, well, he's just like you then, isn't he? So we're sort of going to be quite careful of how our attitude is towards a teacher. Let them think they're right, and let them have their say, and just go, okay, I hear what you're saying. I'll have to go back and talk to my daughter too, and we'll come and we'll have a meeting together, and maybe we'll get the principal in. When you bring a third party in, like the principal, huge things happen. So remember, and I've got a daughter as a teacher too, and from her point of view as well, is that she had a parent ring her, send a message and saying, my daughter doesn't, I've got to give you some tips on parenting, basically. My daughter doesn't respond to this because she's had this happen in her life and that happen and da 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 da. And so she replied back, so, okay, I'm very concerned about that. Let's have a meeting with you and the principal. and we'll bring your daughter in at the end of it and see if we can rectify my teaching style to suit your daughter. And she got a reply back going, oh, it's okay. Little Susie seems quite happy now with your teaching. She seems to have settled down. So what do you think was really going on there? What do you think was really going on? Either of you, since we've got two of you?
I think the mother was probably coming up against something that she was trying to deal with rather than the daughter. And it was probably a reflection of something that she felt from when she was a child, potentially. And then, or she was just voicing her concern and didn't probably really want to take it any further, but just wanted to be heard potentially.
Yeah, all of those things. What do you think, Kerry, was going on with the parent? Oh, you're muted. Mine.
She might have been struggling with her daughter and needing some parenting help herself at home. She was having trouble with behaviour and seeing if there was anything the teacher could help her with.
She was offering the teacher advice how to parent her daughter. So yeah, so she had a better, she thought she had some advice because she was having trouble too, and could tell her how her daughter is and how to teach parent. And the other scenario is she only listened to her daughter and decided that the teacher needed some advice because her daughter might have said things like, she doesn't understand me, she did this and this and this and this. There's also when the mother got rung to say that we're going to have a conversation with the three of us, bringing the principal in. It's like her daughter tells the daughter, we're having this meeting and you're going to come in at the end of it. The daughter goes, oh no, it doesn't matter, because it wasn't as big as what the daughter made it out to be. Mm-hmm. She built a mountain out of a molehill to create attention from the mother. And that was the truth of the daughter. For her, she tells the story this way, and she's got more attention. It's always the teacher's fault. It's a game, cause and effect. Point the finger at the teacher. You know, it was. So another example is when I was growing up, a teacher rang again, because all our 7 children were perfect, and spoke to Mum about my elder sister and said about she did this, this, and this. And Mum said, because she was the eldest, was one of the very first children, right? Said, my daughter would never do that. And the nun said, well, she actually did do it, and it caused a ripple effect. And Mum just didn't believe it, couldn't believe her. And Mum doesn't like to think people tell lies or that, but she just, I just find that very hard to believe, you know. And so what happened is then she ended up going home, and days went by, and then all of a sudden, one day, she saw my sister do it. The exact behavior that the teacher said she did. So we don't know our children. We think we do, but we don't. We actually do not have a clue how they'd act in all the situations and scenarios in life. There's not a hope, because guess what? Your children won't even know. They don't know. They haven't even experienced them. And how many times in our own life have we been put in a situation going, we would never do that. We would never do that. I'd never do this, never do that. And then you end up doing it. Something happens and you do it and you go, oh my God, I used to give people a really hard time about doing that. I would never do that. I can't believe I just did that. But you don't know environmentally, or when the situation is different, or how much pressure you're under, if you're going to actually end up doing things you say you'll never do. So I remember Celia Lashley talking about raising boys. She did an amazing presentation, and I would suggest everyone who's got boys, YouTube Celia Lashley. Okay, Celia Lashley is a New Zealand ex-prison warden, and her advice is amazing, and even let the kids listen to it. This is the one thing that, you know, we get all this parenting advice, and I always thought, why don't we let our kids listen to what we get taught? Because we're only learning, and they're learning to be children as much as we're learning to be adults. and each different scenarios we're being thrown at every day, every week with our children is always shaping us who we are, but we don't know how to react 100% to all of them because we don't quite know what's going on in our children's minds where they have billions of memories and they have all this information coming at them all the time. Okay, so Celia Lashley. So Celia Lashley said one of her things she said is, if you people out there think you know your boys, well, you're wrong. You don't. And I remember going with a friend who said, I know my boys, what they do or not. And I just remember going, no, you don't. We don't know our children because we don't know ourselves. They don't know. And she said, well, you don't, because they don't even know themselves yet. These boys are growing into men. They don't know themselves yet. They don't know how they're going to act, what they're going to grow up like, what they're going to think, what they're going to do. So don't think you know your children because they don't know themselves. And I thought it was, and funnily enough, my friend was sitting next to me at this presentation and she got quite a shock with that. She could nearly see a lot of people. Actually, she was very funny. She actually, like, said, do you mind me swearing a bit? And she would just go, you know, you think you know them? They don't even know themselves and they probably never will, you know, and she sort of had a bit of fun with it. You know, boy, everyone goes on, oh, men and that, but they also go on about, oh, women as well. But yeah. So the other thing with children is the barbed wire fence. Do either of you two know about barbed wire fence? Okay, so the barbed wire fence are the boundaries and disciplines and the rules you have for your house. Okay, like no phones after 6 o'clock for one age, no phones after 9 o'clock from a different age, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. You know, you've got that. Phones are in the house. Phones get taken out of, in the kitchen. If they get taken out of the kitchen and found in your room, they end up going into the parents' bedroom and it gets gone. Some people turn the whole internet off at a certain time. But there's sort of rules around phones, for example. There's rules around doing homework. There's rules around bedtime, lights out, all those things. There's boundaries where you can go with friends or where you can't go with friends. Can you actually have a sleep out on your sleepover or not have a sleepover? So all those boundaries of the barbed wire and the barbed wire fence and the boundaries and discipline. Welcome, Iona. The boundaries and discipline that you have are the discipline that we have for ourselves. So when you've got children, you have them, and as the children get older, you let the discipline and the boundaries out. You let it get bigger. So you give them, they can listen to their phones later, and later. When it comes to adults, so when you're having, so going back to children, if you're having confrontations with children, so you'll get a lot of parents, and welcome, Iona. I know you'll have parents, you probably hear about this all the time, the kids, and what are the kids doing? And I've set the boundaries and they're really pushing against the boundaries at the moment and I can't cope anymore. They've got to really stop and listen that they're getting older and to remove the boundary. Just extend the boundary one bit. Allow them to have another 15 minutes of light on at night. You know, allow them to have the phone for a little bit longer. Give them permission to do some things, but you normally do one at a time. Okay. So listen to her and read her book. Get her book at the library. It's probably a good one to buy because you'll always go refer to it when you've got boys. Okay, so that comes to in our own lives. So the boundaries in our own lives are again the same, very, very similar. We've got our boundaries and some of us don't have any and we're out of control and we're going to overwhelm, or we've got boundaries for around our kids or boundaries around money or boundaries around work or boundaries around some parts, but they don't always have boundaries around fitness and health, around friends, around how much you say yes to, a general boundary. Are we a yes person or are we a no person? So I want you to think about your boundaries that you have in an area of your life that you feel you get into overwhelm. So if it's in business, which is a very common one that we sort of can get the rhythm going, then all of a sudden it's like, boom, you just feel like, oh my gosh, this is so much on my plate. I just don't know how I'm going to do that. Or if you're starting a new business, the money's not flowing in yet. How do I get more clients to allow that? I want you to set boundaries of what are you going to do in a day to keep those results. Now your boundaries is that's your barbed wire fence. Now don't go outside that perimeter. Once you've achieved that, then you can open the gate and then extend the barbed wire out to do more things in that day. But if you go outside that barbed wire fence, like you could have a parameter for spirituality that you know that balances yourself in a day. It could be, you know, the 5 key steps with James, that Mind Tricks 5 key steps. That's your boundary, and that's your barbed wire fence for grounding yourself and connecting with yourself. And you make sure that you do those each day. And they can be very, very set. But every now and again, you might go, oh, actually, I'm going to bring some more breath work into that. Or you've got a new technique that you go, I want to add that to there. I've got this sorted now. I want to deepen my awareness of myself. I want to deepen my awareness of my spirituality. I want to deepen my awareness of taking myself deeper with hypnotherapy or future pacing and getting more specific. So what is it in an area of life that you want to get more specific with setting your boundaries so that you have more balance in your days? So it could be the 5 key steps. Then what is it in work? You break your day up into the hours, and what hours are you going to be specific doing things, and keep your barbed wire fence around that so you stay specific with it. And when you achieve that, just feel the feeling of what it feels like. So I want you to write down, whether it's in business and in personal life, whether it's in the boundaries of doing the 5 key steps, your 5 key steps in the morning, or the Mind Tricks ones. What is an area of life that if you set some stronger boundaries, that you would achieve more and wouldn't be so stressed or going into overwhelm? So it's not always achieve less creates more. So it's about what is it that you could achieve to create more or create more calmness in your life daily. What's a discipline that you know is your weakness in your life right now that you could actually work on? Is it personal development? Is it actually an area of your business? Is there something you've got to start saying no to so that you can say yes to the thing that's going to be transformational for you? So what is it in your life? So if you've got a pen there, Iona too, what's an area of your life where you could set a boundary that I'm going to do da 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 each day. I'm going to break up my day with the hours I work, and when I finish work, I finish it. It's done. That was a huge boundary and a huge discipline for me, is to finish work at 4 o'clock one day, 5 o'clock the other way, and allow myself one day a week to do work later. In the morning, you know, I used to just get up, and I used to just get up as soon as I sort of done a bit of exercise or something. I just get up and start working. And before I knew it, I was working till 6 o'clock at night. In the old days, 10 o'clock at night. I used to keep going because in business, you just don't stop. There's no off button. You can just keep going and going and going. However, your results don't show for it because you burn out. But if you get some really tight boundaries in business or in your personal life, and what is it in your relationship? What is it in your wholeness and yourself that if you set that boundary? For example, mine is that jet skiing once a month minimum. That is part of my boundaries of me to have a happy, joyous life. You know, so do my 5 key steps daily, making sure I'm doing some exercise, whether it's 5 minutes or 50 minutes, it doesn't matter. Get jet skiing at least once a month, if not more. Get to the beach once a fortnight, like getting down just to see the beach, the water, whether I get in it or I just look at it. For me, that's really grounding. So that's for me to keep my balance. Also, the discipline is I start work at a certain time, I finish at a certain time. Now, occasionally, will the boundaries get floaty? Yes, they will, but I'll always pull them back into, because I'll know, because there'll be a feeling that goes in here that I'm feeling, I don't feel balanced. I just feel like I'm under pressure, or I just feel like I'm doing too much. So like, for example, on a Friday, I don't work Fridays. And people ask every now and again, and I go, I don't work Fridays. I'll allow the odd exception just to get into my gate. They're out once in a while. I will let that come in as a one-off, maybe once a month. If there's a group, like especially if it's a family, and they literally are out of town that whole time, or they can't, they literally, their job is that crazy job. They've got that crazy shift where some of the truckies, honestly, they were very, very terrible hours. 7 to 10 at night, 7 to 9 at night, and they fall into bed, they say. So I'll do that occasionally and do the odd exception for the rule. but I very much have got my boundaries, the hours that I work, how many training courses I say yes to as well. That's really, really specific. Some people's the boundaries of food, their intake, time with your partner. If you have a partner, do you have boundaries with that, or are you always needy of them? Or are they always needy of you? If they're needy of you, or you've got lots of friends you want to catch up with as well, set your boundaries and get clear with everyone. Rather than having friends ringing, can you do it? No, I can't right now. Can you do it? No, I've got the kids, got this thing. Set once a month where you're going to catch up with certain friends and set a boundary around it so you don't always say no to people. Because people get really sick of people saying no, and then they stop ringing you. They stop doing things. Also, your boundaries around who are you going to ring? Is there somebody you're going to ring that you haven't rung for a long time? Is there a parent or a friend in need that you actually go, actually, I'm really busy, but I actually want to ring them once a week and see how they are. I'm going to ring for 15 minutes and just check in with them. And that's what I'm going to do. And you set a boundary to do that each week. No excuses. Okay. Now, the thing is, with the hypnotherapy coming up on the 8th, 9th, 10th of March online, this one. So you guys have all done it before, so you get to come back for free to do it as a coaching assistant. And it'll definitely take you to that next level. What I'm talking about, the boundaries here too, is that you can actually do self-hypnosis for these boundaries if you find that they've been a struggle for you. And remember, if you're struggling with things that you know you should be doing in these boundaries and you're not doing, remember, procrastination leaves us stuck on the spot. And then we feel guilty, we feel sad, we feel frustrated that we're not doing those things. So remember, you've got parts integrations, you've also got submodality change, where you can change the image. You've also got removing the fast phobia model, whereas you can remove the negative emotions based on that, from that an event where you go, because that happened, I just can't do it. I just can't seem to get over the block to get through that. So you can do that as well. There's also the swish, where you're changing the size of an object, which these are more NLP techniques. But there's a lot of different NLP techniques that you can do. Okay, we're going to go around and share so that we can all be a little bit accountable for each other. And we'll start with Iona, since we haven't seen Iona today. Say anything? Here she comes. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Hello, everyone.
What did you pick up on that last little bit we did that you're going to?
Oh, yes. No, I've been working on it, actually. I need to outsource some things. Yeah.
What specifically?
Accounting, bookkeeping.
Bookkeeping or accounting, two different things.
Well, bookkeeping. Yeah, I need to outsource.
Okay, so you've got an accountant?
Yes, we do, but we need to find probably a bookkeeper who can just do the data entry for the incoming invoices, especially my hubby's business.
Brilliant. So
it's just too much for me. Like I need to focus on my things, and I just haven't had, it's too much. I've been overwhelmed like crazy. Yeah.
Right. What else can you be specific to put in your boundary for your work hours, and how many people you say yes to? What other boundaries you're going to set yourself? Because
I think with that one, I'm still kind of building it, so that's okay. And yeah, so Friday I said no to already. It's just every now and then I say yes to some Saturdays, which I have to probably be firm on that as well. Not every Saturday, but certain Saturdays I make myself available, and that's it. And I just say,
so maybe once a month, and then you make sure that it's blocked out. It's a real discipline, guys, to say when you're not going to see clients.
Yeah, because you always try to please everyone, but you can't. Because then who is the loser in the end? It's just us.
Yeah. So we don't need to work Saturdays at all, to be honest with you. People will come if their health is important to them. And when we're setting up a business, one of the boundaries that we don't have clear is the boundary is that we don't have to keep working and accepting everybody. We do it initially, but as you get more focused and clear, people respect you more, and the vibration and the vibrational change. So like on the money grows on trees, the vibrational change, and you'll just allow people to come. But what we do is we accept all crazy hours and things, but we also, when we don't have a lot of clients, we think, oh, we're still building it up. We actually try emotionally too hard, and we think, how can I get more clients? Oh, what can I do? And you get busy doing stuff. So I want you to get specific. And in a day, what specifically can you do to stop and lift your vibration rather than doing? I'll email this person, do this. I want you to stop. I want you to stop in your business, lift the vibration and future pace. How many clients do you want? That is way, way more valuable than working hours trying to find out other ways to get clients, or just doing heaps of more paperwork and, oh, do this. But you can keep so busy in a business. It's get out of your way and you've got this much time for paperwork, okay? That's your paperwork done. It's finished for the day. You've got that much time, you follow up clients. Finished, done for the day. Then create a space every day where you go, I'm just going to future pace what I want. Now that is actually part of the 5 key steps, and it's under manifestation. What do you want? What do you really, really want? Get specific. Time, date, place, amount of money, who with, where to, whatever it is. And remember, you only do each one once, and then feel the feeling, pretend it's happened, feel the feeling, what it really feels like, and then let it go. And before the let it go, if I go the whole way, as I take it up and then future pace and drop it in. And the way future paces works, Renee, as she's been doing them, saying that I've been working, it's really feel like it's done. Fake it till you make it. So really feel the feeling that it's actually done. It's absolutely fabulous. You've actually achieved that. Okay. Any questions of that, Iona?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. So take some time when you take your lunch break, but in the morning, I honestly, sometimes I lose my boundary of doing my 5 key steps in my manifestation, and I'll always know because I'll just not feel the flow. There's just something missing. So it's a real boundary that I keep there, is that 5 key steps. Definitely. And today I had an emergency client very early this morning, and I said yes, I'll see you to help. It was very important to support this person in the community here, and it sort of put me out of it this morning. But I made sure that I still did at least half of the 5 key steps before they walked in my office, so I had done me. There's no point me saying, yeah, come on straight away, come on Zoom straight away, I'll see you right now in Russia. I used to do that, but that's outside my boundaries, which means it's sending the wrong energy to them. So I ended up going, no, I just go, yes, I can see you. I'll be ready in about 15-20 minutes. And then I gave a set time. I said, if you arrive on Zoom, I'll be there very shortly. I just want you to journal and write things down. And I took my time there. I didn't rush like I used to in the order. I had a boundary, okay, that I have to look after me first. I haven't done my 5-step manifestation, and I can tell that. It's just, you just know, I just now energetically know there's just one element missing of that flow of, I have the most amazing life, which I do. And when I get those boundaries really set, it's even more fantastic. And I pinch myself and go, wow, when those boundaries, when I've let those fences out and I've allowed things to pop in, it's like going, oh no, it's like my horse is a bit bumpy again. It's like, God, this is getting a bit rocky. What's wrong with me? I mean, what's going on? Oh, boundaries, get back. You know what works. Get back into the rhythm that you work. Whether it's in my personal life, whether it's Nick and I going on a dinner date, you know, I can tell when we haven't done date nights and things like that, when we haven't done things together, rather than saying, oh, we're just going to go here or do this. It's specific. When we haven't specifically in our relationship said, we're going to go out a night to night, and this night is for us, rather than one where you just go, okay, we're just going to go out here and there. that is completely different. And for me, my feeling in a relationship, it's like Thursday's our date night. We're going to go specifically once a month in a specific place. If I choose 1 month, you choose 1 month. And if we're really good, once a fortnight is even actually really better too. So I find that when it's specific, it makes a very, very big difference. It's the wishy-washiness that gets us all lost and overwhelmed. So thanks, Iona. And who wants to go next? Renee, Kerry?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got, I think I'm getting closer to setting boundaries with work and being a lot stricter on like when I'm starting and when I'm finishing, and actually feeling comfortable that if I haven't finished everything in a day, that it's okay to do tomorrow. So I do prioritize every morning what I need to do at work, and feeling more comfortable on letting some things go. So I've still got to work around that. So there's activities that I do that I don't necessarily need to. So I have been establishing the boundaries at work, but it can always still be worked on. The boundary that I need to really focus on is my morning routine, in that I've let that lag in the way of exercise. I was getting up at 5, doing my 4 key steps and missing the exercise for myself. Now, I take the dog for a walk in the afternoon. I take the dog for a walk every afternoon, but that is actually more frustrating than anything because he doesn't walk properly. So that's a boundary that I have to get back into, and that is nothing is stopping me other than myself. So that's my own. And one thing that you said before, Jane, which I've just put down here about boundaries, is grounding myself. One thing that absolutely grounds me is walking on the edge of the ocean. And hey, I live 800 meters away, so that's something that I need to be doing. So I have put it down here that once per week to do that. And I guess I've put other things in all of my areas, like around fun, and actually booking in an activity with the kids specifically, rather than just ad hoc. Let's go and do something. Let's book it in once a month. Like, I know that we do a lot, but actually being mindful about what we're doing rather than last minute, what are we going to do? Activities with a friend, whether that's catching up with them, going out. One thing that I have successfully done around boundaries is lunch on a Friday with Pete. So we finish at 1, so we have lunch together. 80% of the time we leave the office. 20% of the time we might have it in the office. So again, boundaries. Let's move out of the office to do that.
And don't you notice the difference when you don't leave the office?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So like on Friday we had lunch and then I left and then he was still working there until 6 o'clock. Whereas if we both leave at 1, neither of us go back.
Yeah, and does life change because he's there at 6 o'clock, gets a few more things done? Does it create any more money? You'll actually
No.
find that way.
No, it's probably tireder.
Yeah.
So
It
yeah,
actually,
there's a few.
It actually stints the energy of your business.
Yeah. So when I was going through that exercise, I'm like, yeah, like I could just be tweaking so many boundaries that I have. And I think the key to the boundaries all working better is actually if I can get my boundary right in the morning, which is me.
That's great. Yeah. And what does it always come down to?
Me.
The I.
Me. I. Yep.
Yep. So I liked how you said, I feel like I'm getting better with what time I start work in the morning. How about being better?
Being better. Yeah.
Rather than getting. So get more specific. As you know, you've labeled it what you need to improve on. Now get specific and act as if you've done it.
Mm.
Okay. So I am great at starting work in the morning. That's one thing, a boundary that I'm going to set for myself. And I'm not going to start work. I'm going to, that's a negative, not self-correction. I'm going to start work at 9 o'clock each morning, or this day, Wednesday, I'm going to start at 8, whatever it is.
Mm.
I have one day that I start at 8 o'clock and I'll see clients at 8 o'clock, one day and one day only. And one day, if I do that, I finish the day early. Real boundary. I need to remember that. I put it in my diary. I've shaded it off now, so I don't step over it. Sometimes I go, oh, I can fit someone in there. It's like, no.
Yep.
Zip it up, because that's when I really get my life back. And honestly, when I really get my life back with those boundaries, it's good. You know you're living. The other thing that I noticed, I need to get grounded. Remember, when we say a need, what does the universe do? It's like,
Yeah.
you need to, you know, it's just like really hard energetically. It understands it's a need, it's a desperation. So it's, I want to get grounded every day. And the second part of what we're suggesting here to set boundaries is the, how does it make you feel when you're grounded every day? So notice when I explained the why I did something and then how I felt. So when you bring the how you felt into it, that's when the change will happen, because you'll start to feel that feeling. Go back to a specific time in your life where you felt really grounded. Go back to a specific time in your life, Iona, where you worked Monday to Friday, or you worked 4 days a week and you did 1 day for bookwork, and that was it. And then you start to get that flow. You know, how much is enough? You know, what are your KPIs that you want to achieve each month, rather than going, I just want more, I just want more, I just want more. You know, what actually is enough where you can actually pat yourself on the back? And guys, celebrating. Where's your boundary for celebrating? Got to get out there and celebrate. Okay, so on that note, on the 24th of March, write it in your diary, VIP celebration for wins from 2023. Okay, VIP celebration. We're going on a cruise, 4 o'clock. Oh, it's a Sunday. It is a Sunday, the 24th of March. So pop it in your diary. It's a +1. You can bring +1. Adult, sorry, adults only. Okay. The wine and nibbles as we arrive on board. Okay, so that's going to be a celebration for the Jane Rushton Live VIP community group. Okay, anything else, Renee, that's popped up now I've said that?
Yep. All good.
Just that you want to become more specific, right?
Yes, exactly. 100%.
And in the present state, as if
Yes.
in the now.
Yeah.
So you can do it while we're still talking, but change whatever you've written there to be, I am doing this now. This is my boundary. I start work at this time. I do this at this time. This is, I have a bookkeeper. And when I have a bookkeeper, what days are you going to talk to the bookkeeper? So before you get one, when do you want to talk to them? Once a month to go through things. When you're going to, and there's lots of, I can refer you to lots of bookkeepers, and there's another new one in the networking group, Iona, as well. Northern Gold Coast one on the Friday, this Friday coming up. So yeah, start to get specific of when you're going to employ someone, when are you going to talk to them about taking the books over and things like that. So start to plan as if now you've already got them. Okay, and then that's a boundary, you've got that time marked out. Okay, Kerry, would you like to share? Thanks, Renee.
Yes. So mine was just around those mindfulness practices. So I am really excellent at the accountability section of the 5 key steps.
Lucky third, she's got it right.
There is an area of opportunity, inconsistency with the rest of them. So I just like to be doing more journaling and more meditation, because I know when I stop to actually take time out and just like, it can be a 5-minute meditation for me, or one of my self hypnosis, like that makes a difference. So just making time to do that. So I've got down here that I'll do a new self-hypnosis recording every week around what I really want. So that manifestation, what is it for this week? You know, if I was to picture the week, what would I like to, you know, or it doesn't even have to be that week, it could be future. But I'm manifesting something that week. My exercise, I have a really good routine that works for me around going to the gym 3 days per week. This morning it was cancelled, so I went down to the Sandgate waterfront, like for an hour, like walking along the water. Same as where I went for the run on the weekend, and then just took my shoes off and actually walked in the water on the sand to, you know, feel that. So that was beautiful on the weekend. But just making a point to go down there at least once a week for a walk. And that can be, you know, on the days I don't go to the gym, or if the gym's cancelled, I can go there. But I love to just put on my audio book and get lost in a nice walk along
Wonderful.
up and down the stairs. So incorporating that at least weekly to make sure I'm on track with that. And yeah, I just like to a point around stopping to lift my vibration. So I think for me, the mindfulness is going to be the key moving forward whilst I'm embracing uncertainty of what happens next. Around business, I'm still working through a few things with family businesses I'm sorting out and different opportunities. So I'm not sure what those boundaries look like yet. I'm still trying to work out where that lies. So for me, if I can just get my mindset right, I will clear space, or be open to working out what that looks like.
So my challenge for you here, and each of you will have a challenge like this too, is what boundary do you want to set of the hours per week you're going to put on making this decision? Pros and cons for everything. And the biggest thing, so what area of your life this week are you going to prioritize to achieve what's in your boundary? So what is it that you're going to do and set your boundary as if you're talking to a child and saying, right, this is your boundary. This is what has to be done every day. It's like they've got to pack their lunch. They've got to do this. They've got to take their lunch box out when they get home. You're talking to yourself as if you were talking to a child. And what boundary is it that you're going to do because you know it's for your better good? I mean, you're working as a team within yourself.
Mm.
You know, there's all different aspects of your team. You know, we've got our spiritual, we've got our business, we've got our career, we've got relationships, we've got the eye, we've got our holiday downtime in our life. What have I missed? We've got health. You know, we've got fitness. We've got, you know, what is it that you're going to actually know that if I do this, it's for my better good. And it's just not for our good, because what happens after our good is the vibration increases for everyone around. So that's the biggest thing with business coaching, is your vibration, or like Renee's has, will just keep lifting as you keep clearing the onion layers off to get down to the boundary of connecting with self and setting a stronger, clearer routine, as if you're talking to a child. That's the routine you want to set, because it's for your own greater good, for the good of the vibration of everyone around you. And that's when your life really changes. And will it be right all the time? No. So it's like when we have boundaries for children, we go, okay, in the morning you do this, this, and this. You've got your tick chart, you tick all that off. Okay, and then we're in the car at school, on the way to school. You drop them off at school. When you get home, okay, you come in, you put your bag in the laundry or the bag area, you take your lunchbox out, you put it on the bench, you empty out all your rubbish if there's any in there. And then at dinner time, one of you sets the table, one of them fills the dishwasher, maybe the cutlery, and the other one does the other dishwasher. Whatever's age appropriate. One could sweep the floor. Whatever it is that I find for my children, it was better to give them tasks they enjoyed doing. I tried giving them tasks that rotating didn't work. They were all a lot happier, and it was a calmer house if they did what they liked doing. So find out what you like doing in your routine too. But when they do that routine, the vibration of the whole family is great. But we as parents are making sure they're doing it, okay, that they tick chart, they're doing all that. Every now and again, that's our boundary. Our boundary is with the children, we're going to make sure that they're doing all these tasks here, and that I will support them, and I'll be their little reminder, their little birdie, Tweety bird, to remind them, and it'll be fine. But every now and again, what happens is our boundary gets loose, and we forget to remind them, and we get busy because we're not grounded, and we haven't set our own boundaries around work or around our own self, fitness, our own relationship with self or a partner, or even time with the children, those boundaries. And so they start to get wobbly. Next thing, the whole house is going crazy, and you go, what the hell is wrong with the kids? My God, you think they've all had Coca-Cola or something like that, and you'll actually realize it comes back to the eye, your boundaries. You've got soft, you've relaxed. The Tweety bird's gone quiet because everything's just going really smoothly, and all of a sudden the road gets bumpy again. You're going, oh my God, I'm not disciplining myself to discipline the children. And then you've got to carry that to work, carry it for your health. But once you carry it and the vibration lifts, and that's hence the coaching that I really notice it with my own coaching and with others, is it's a constant accountability reminder to take you to that next layer of cleaning up of the how come you're stuck and you can't do it. So for example, Renee mentioned about running. When I see her next, I'll ask if she wants to do procrastination about running, and next thing she'll be running with you, Kerry, because it'll be gone. We've just got a block, you know, the boundary's gone. You used to run, you're not anymore, it's all gone, something else has slipped in, and the wiring's just changed. So some of the boundaries are easy for us to set, right? We can do it, but some of them we have to push. It's like, yeah, you say that, but I'm not getting enough clients right now, or no, I have to do this extra work, you know, I can't just not do it. I really want you to challenge yourself and really look deep and go, do you? I mean, that used to be my belief. Do you have to actually keep doing all these other things because I haven't got enough clients, or whether you've got too many clients, or which are the ones working for you, what are the ones aren't? Are you feeling a big pull towards one way or the other? You know, emotionally, how are you feeling? And I think that's the biggest thing here is, how are you feeling about your business right now? And how, so write that down. That's a question I want you to answer. How are you feeling about your business right now, or the job you're working in for the reporting? How are you feeling about that business or career that you're in right now? And what's one area that is your weakness that you could set a boundary or you could work on with your coach with? What's one area that you've got a weakness, that you've got a block, that you could work with your coach on, so that you can set the boundary to connect to the eye, set the flow, and when the flow is connected, the energy will connect. And while I'm here, remember to let anyone know, or do your registrations. You would have got an email about the Hypno on the 8th, 9th, and 10th. I talked about the VIP Sunset the 24th, and then NLP, first 2 weekends in May. Okay, so that's, and all the events, the only next event I have in the Jane Rushton Life community is Hypno in November, which is a live one again, which is going to be here. So I want you now to unmute, and we're going to go around, and I want you to share with me your takeaway. Maybe it's based on what you just wrote down. You're going to answer that question out loud so you can be accountable, and we'll all remember it. I'll write down my notes. Okay, so let's start with Kerry this time. I'm going to ask you one thing, Kerry. Just talk a little bit slower.
I'm still thinking about mine. So I just think for me, it's around boundaries applying to all areas of my life. And so I go to the mindfulness first for me. And then it's about, okay, so when I'm creating what my business looks like, and I've got the blank piece of paper, what do I want that to look like? And what are my boundaries around, you know, how much coaching I want to do or how much study?
And feel like, remember, it's the feeling.
What does it feel like?
Boundaries around your business, what does it look like, and what does it feel like when you've got your boundaries set around your business?
Not what does it think like?
Pardon?
Not what do I think about it?
You can write that down too, but it still comes down to how you feel about it. Because if you write all that down and it actually goes, oh, that just feels too much,
Mm.
you're not going to do it. It's a massive roadblock straight there and then.
Okay. So
Okay.
my takeaway is looking at my business boundaries and how I feel about the boundaries I want to put in place.
That's it. Yeah. And really write down the hours that are conducive to your family life, not what you earn. The earnings will happen around that. Because if your energy is not run the right place, you want to earn all this money. I actually coach business reverse psychology. We're going to earn all this money, but the vibration is focusing on the money rather than focusing on the energy, whereas the energy of doing what you want, when you want, to help the greater good of others, the money will just flow in. So I actually talk differently about it. For me, when you're grounded, you have your boundaries and your energy base, people will come and then the money will flow.
Mhm.
And when you write your business plan, if you write it from that part is coming from the energy part, then you can put what you're charging per person and how many people you want within that hour, and you've got to see what your income is. Okay, from there, then you look at that, is that enough? Is it the right job for you? Can you earn enough with that? Are you charging enough hourly rate? What is it you need to tweak to earn the income for you to feel happy with what you're earning? And knowing when you're starting out, it's always a bit cheaper. And then as you get the energy and the vibration going, then you charge what you know you deserve. It seems to be, you can go out there and charge whatever you want, definitely, and that'll work. But if your energy and vibration, your boundaries aren't set, it's not going to happen. That's why people go cheaper. I'm still just learning. It means they don't, I'm still just learning. I haven't really got it. It means they're not believing in themselves. When I started coaching, I started off just very cheap in that, but the other businesses, I started off with my full rate straight off. Because I knew I was very good. I just went, no, that's what they say. The going rate is, that is my rate. Yeah. I mean, we can all charge more, like we can, because we're as good as what we want to do, but we've all got a part with money that plays in our life, and we've all got a belief around money. You know, what is yours, and is it working? Is it not working? You know, I live the philosophy is how much is enough. I don't want to burn out. How much is really enough? Whereas some people go, I want to earn 300,000, 200,000. I want to earn it in the first year and that. And I go, well, how are you going to do that? And how's it going to make you feel with the amount? And what do you have to do to achieve that? And then they do all this and they just burn themselves out energetically. When, interesting enough, as you're learning for the ones doing money on grows on trees, the money will come if you get your grounding and your boundary right first. You will be on that before you know it. And you could easily be on that in the first year. It's how you think about it. So start, if you like, you do it both. You do the business plans both ways. So some people, I do it the other way as well because they're so used to it. You know, what do you want to earn? What's your KPIs and that? But I'll always do it from the other way as well, coming up. What life do you want to live by running a business? Now, what is the purpose of it? Thanks, Kerry. Okay, Iona, you're unmuted.
I am. For me, what it feels like, it's being in balance. Like just to have the balance between, you know, how much work you take on, and then just to have that little bit of like, yeah, now I can relax. And then when you relax, you can actually really relax because you don't think that I gotta do this, you know, all that stuff. So yeah, that's why I gotta sort things out now. And then we had a discussion with my husband about it, so that's good. We came to this conclusion, no, it's too much for me and we need to outsource, that's it. So it's happening. I just got to bring it up to speed and then let it go.
Yes, yeah. Bring it to fruition now and just know it's there. Yeah. So your boundary is to,
Like I can handle everything. I thought, yeah, I can do this, I can do that. I can't do it. I can't. I just cannot. Not anymore.
Once I was doing my coaching, I realized I was doing this and, you know, I was people were saying grow the business and do this and do that. And then I went, actually, no, I'm here to coach. So I stopped everything else, you know, all the Facebook, all the things. And I actually just started focusing on my coaching. And I'll do one thing to connect with other people, just one thing. And all of a sudden referrals and people just started coming through, and it just started to flow. And it happened very, very quickly when I changed and set my boundary, is that I'm not just going to try everywhere to get clients. I'm just going to actually stay focused, and I'm going to work one area I did, and then another area I said I go to a networking meeting. I just did those two things, and everyone else said, you should try this, you should do this. You should. It's like going, no. And with my other business, my Network Festival, the same. They said, you know, I get so many people come and do this, this, and this. And I said, if you're not, maybe you don't know the success of it, but it actually is. It's okay. It's doing very, very, very well without any Facebook, any paid events, things like that. So until we get more staff, that's where it stays, because it's very successful in its own right. That was all created, the International Network Festival, organically. You know, we take over 250 people to Fiji each year on a 9-day tour. We look after everything. We do the whole lot, but I delegate it all out to staff. So I work 4 hours a week, approximately, sometimes 1 on it. And sometimes I might do a little bit more, not generally. So my boundary there is that one is actually to employ a new staff member now. So it's just got very, very big organically. So it's all, energy. It's all energy. So your biggest takeaway, Iona?
Delegation.
Delegation. So what date are you going to ring a bookkeeper?
Probably will be the Fridays. Yeah.
Friday. So you're going to go to the networking meeting, connect with one there?
Not yet, not just yet. And then I have a few things on in March, so maybe April when I get to the meeting.
Okay, so what will you do for so then you've got to bring it back, that won't work. So when are you going to talk to a bookkeeper? A bookkeeper you want to talk to, you can message someone in the group like Mel or Sean and get hold of a couple of numbers and test them out. Okay? Right, perfect. Okay, thank you, Renee.
100%.
My key takeout is just making sure that I am focusing on the most important boundary, which is me, and then still having the others in place and always tweaking them, but coming back to making sure that my boundaries are what I actually want them to be and value myself. That's just my biggest takeout from the session. The last question that we're just talking about, which was work, I'm actually feeling very excited about work at the moment. I do need to work more on getting the focus away from the money, which I think is probably 50-50. Whereas for a period there, I was focusing all on the money. So it's getting back into actually doing those processes. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
And
that little word need jumped in rather than want.
Okay. I want. And I want to let go of all my little mundane tasks.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Excellent. And I gather you're going to start all these things today specifically and let those things going. So I'm going to go. Thank you very much for all coming tonight, and everyone who's listened to the recording. Just enjoy the recording, and I look forward to seeing you when I see you all next, all different times, no doubt. Some of you Money Grows on Trees tomorrow night. And if you haven't joined yet, you can still join Money Grows on Trees. You just get sent the recordings and connect with the vibration as it's just growing as the weeks go on. So yeah, enjoy. Okay, well, have a great evening, everyone. Bye. Thanks. For now.
Bye.